Okay, this session is special, different from what we used to have because um this is one of those things that those secrets to success that I was reminded about, and I thought it is important to have a session to share with us because, of course, you should know that if you're in PPA, one of the major reasons for you to be in PPA is for you to work with me, for us to work together so that we can enhance your ability to succeed even faster than what you must have experienced working on your own, or to succeed in a more sustainable way. You should succeed and be a success 10 years after, 20 years after, 30 years after, right? And it therefore means that if I see something which I know that can help you, I will happily share with you. And today is one of those sessions that I felt is very important to share with us. And what I'll be talking about, part includes one of those things I always say, that it is a success principle that is older than you and I. And whether you respect the principle or not, whether you accept it or not, that is your problem. That is my problem. But the option is whether you like to argue, no matter how much you think you're intelligent, how much school you've gone, how many things that you know. If you argue, your argument will not change anything. But that particular principle of success remains a fact, remains an important part of success, that you can only sink to it, you can only understand it, you can only see how you can leverage on it and take it to your advantage. And what I'm talking about comes from a daily devotional known as Dimensions. It's a daily devotional from the Hilltop Faith Ministries done by Reverend Latunde Steve. That's where I go to church. And there's this part of the devotional that has been talking about stardom. Like they will say somebody's a star, like a celebrity or a star, right? Talking about stardom. And the Reverend Steve, through this devotional, unraveled some things about stardom that are very unusual and not very much publicly communicated, especially by people who talk about success a lot. And some may know and not teach it, but some may know or some may not teach it because they are totally ignorant. And I want to take time for us to take a few days and just break this down on some mysteries and some secrets when it comes to activating your star. And the first fundamentals I want us to begin with is to understand that everybody is born with a star, right? Like when Jesus was born and a star appeared. That's the first fact I want to establish. Whether you agree or not, whether you know it or not, everybody was born with a star. Every human being, when you're born, a star appears, right? And in this devotional, he's saying that you were born for greatness, and when you were born, a star appeared in the sky. Your star is the spiritual substance which powers your talent to give you dominion in the physical by means of your divine endowments. The star is the spiritual substance which powers your talent to give you dominion in the physical by means of your divine endowment. So your star is your spiritual substance. And it is your star that powers your dominion in the reality, in the physical reality. That's why there are some people that when they do something very little, no matter how it looks, it feels as if it was done by many people, right? Because there is a certain level of spiritual substance that is powering that physical manifestation, right? And if you're somebody who follows a lot of things like spiritual things, you'll see that uh, um like when many people that watch like all of these deliverances and all of that, you see that sometimes you see that delivering somebody and they say, no, we tampered with the star, we covered the star, oh, we did it and we did that. All of those things are true, because the fact is that life is first of all spiritual before physical. Whether you believe it or not, that is your own cup of tea, right? And that's why it's even around us. That is why, have you ever asked yourself, why do people go to native doctors? Why do people tie things around their waist? Why do people like to get, how do they call this thing? They cut their body, they go to native doctors, they cut their body and they put things inside their body. Why do people join cultists, join occultic societies? Why do people go to church? Why do people fast day and night? Why do people do several things? The truth is that many people who do any of these things, whether you're doing the good, the bad, or the ugly, as far as it is a spiritual something, it means that there is a recognition that life is first of all spiritual before physical. And that's the same with success. Many people get to chase a lot after success, and they have not invested or pay attention to understand the spiritual path of success. And one of those spiritual part of success is understanding your star, which is your spiritual substance, which empowers your talent. Without you understanding your star, or without the strength of your star working in a powerful way spiritually, you will do a lot of work physically. You will work hard, you will do things, but nobody seems to know that you exist, because that spiritual substance which elevates your what do I say, which elevates your excellence, which elevates your dominion, which elevates people to see you in a special way, is not there, or has been tampered with. Like you can see somebody who is very talented, very good in the community, in the local quarter, but nobody knows it. Everything it does seems as if there's some level of obscurity covering it, right? So, and he said something very funny here. He said, only apprentice witches attack talents to destroy a career. Advanced witches leave you with your talent and strike your star, right? So this means, for example, you can be good at something, and instead nobody may attack your talent, but they can go and attack the ability of making people know you. They can go and attack that spiritual substance that makes people, that empowers your celebrity status, that empowers people, anything that empowers you for people to know you. Like I always say, right, no matter how talented you are, if nobody can recognize your talent, if nobody can celebrate your talent, if nobody can acknowledge that you're good at something, nobody will ever give you an opportunity to serve, and nobody will ever give you a platform. Nobody will ever pay you for your talent. That's why if anybody destroys your reputation among people, he or she has killed you. Although you remain talented, but nobody can trust you. Nobody can work with you. So, and your reputation can be destroyed, or this is stardom can be destroyed either in a spiritual way or in a physical way, right? Sometimes people struggle to break through in the realm of stars, despite their glaring talent, because the power of your star is not in place. It has been tampered with. Like I see many young people or even elderly people, they work hard day and night, and they cannot see some significant breakthrough. They cannot see something relevant happening to what they desire, because somebody because maybe the star has been tampered with, or they are not activating their star on their own. And there are some secrets to stars, some secret to stars like us. There's some secret to stars that we need to know. And he continued by saying that The physical representation of a star is a pentagon surrounded by 5 triangles, or better still, the arrows, right? You know, a star has 5 arrows. You can picture, you can go search it and see if you don't know how to draw a star. The pentagon center of the star is you, and each of the 5 triangles point to the elements of your personality and actions, which interrelate to determine how potent your star is. Okay, I want to do something. Let me see. All right, I want to show a star so that it's more practical. All right, I've seen one. So I can explain this. Trust me, if you cut this thing, if you get it deeper, you understand it deeper. Trust me, this will be a big change in your success journey, a very big change in your success journey. All right. I hope you're learning something. Okay, so this is the star we're talking about, right? You see it has 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's go back to that. It says the physical representation of a star is a pentagon, like what you see surrounded by 5 angles, as we see, or arrows. The pentagon center of the star is you. That is, you are here. The center here, you are here, right? And where's that thing? And each of the 5 triangles points you to the 5 elements. That's why I'm sharing this portion with you, so that we understand these elements that makes up a star, that makes up your success status, that makes up your celebrity status, that makes up the ability for you to create significant impact in a powerful way. 5 elements of your personality and actions, which interrelate. That's the key thing, which interrelate to determine how potent your star is. The potency of your star determines the radius of power and authority your voice will have on earth. Listen to that carefully. The potency of your star determines the radius of power and authority your voice will have on earth. It determines that like how far your voice can. There are some people that no matter how talented they are, nobody knows them beyond their village. No matter how talented you are, nobody knows you beyond your town. And no matter whatever you do, nobody knows you. Same as nobody knows you beyond your country. Nobody knows you beyond your continent. There are some people that are global voices. There are some that, and that's why you look at anybody who is a national voice, who is a global voice, who is a continental voice, who is a regional voice, whatever, it doesn't just happen by error. Whether unconsciously or consciously, there is something that caused that effect. And that one of those things is related to their ability to understand their star, or consciously or unconsciously take actions that push them to that level. Okay. Reverend Steve says here that some people have municipal voices, right? They're just in their municipality. Others have regional voices, some have national voices, some have continental voices, some have intercontinental voices, and some even have celestial and terrestrial voice joined together, right? That is the level you get to. The Bible says you shall decree a thing in the earth, and they shall be established in heaven, right? Good. A level where what you speak penetrates the celestial to establish a law both in heaven and on earth. It's a level you grow into depending on how much you can develop the 5 arrows that activate your star. I want to focus on the 5 arrows that activate your star. We have established that there is a star. For you to activate your star, you need to accept first, you need to believe first that you were born with a star. And a star is that representation of who you are. Okay? And there are 5 arrows that until you work on these arrows, you will never activate your star. And these 5 arrows that makes up your star include spirituality, includes your vision, includes your work and service, includes giving and sacrifice, includes attitude. These are the 5 arrows that makes up your star. And we're going to teach all of this, and you're going to see how deep they are and how they significantly influence your success. And as we're teaching this, you will see how some people, even be you or even somebody around you, see why they're struggling to be significant in the society. You see why many people struggle around you to be where they have to be as far as this is concerned. Okay. So, and if there's one thing that I would charge you to do if you are you're a spiritual person, I did not say a religious person. You don't just go to church, but you're a spiritual person. You create time and you pray, and you are conscious that there is a place of God in your success journey. There is a place of God in your success journey. Create time and pray for your star. Pray for an understanding of what your star is all about. Pray for a revelation. Pray for your star to be seen by the right people, right? Pray for the right things to happen to you as a result of your star. Let's go to the first arrow of your star, which is your star and your spirituality. Your star and your spirituality. In your private time, you can read Matthew chapter 2, verse 2, and Matthew chapter 2, 9 to 10. Matthew 2, 2, and Matthew 2, 9 to 10. Create time and read that to add to that. Okay, your star and your spirituality. Are you following and learning something? Indicate in the chat box. Let me see. Are you learning something? Is it something worth sharing with you? So you should not wake up at 4 a.m. and wasting your time. Okay, let's proceed. Let's proceed. Let's look at your star and your spirituality. Yeah, there are some people that just after this, a lot of deliverance will happen to you, a lot. You will see a lot of obscurity and some things that it's why people that that you are a dangerous hard worker. You put in hard work day and night, but there are some things that, that missing piece that may just fix you up, and in less than 1 year, you are everywhere. Yes, you are doing the things you have always desired to do. Okay, good. And that's why there's power in having knowledge in certain things. Okay, let's look at your star and your spirituality. That's arrow number 1. We're handling the first arrow, arrow number 1, your star and your spirituality. We're going to handle all the 5 arrows. The first arrow of your star that must be in place is spirituality. The first arrow of your star that must be in place is spirituality. A perfect representation of your spirituality is the IMEI, International Mobile Equipment Identity of your phone. When you open your phone dial pad and type *#06*, you will see your phone's unique identification on the screen. Who has ever tried that? *#. I'd like you to try that so you see all our phones have that. If there's 7 billion phones on Earth, every phone has an IMEI. You can try that. You're going to see yours is going to appear, right? When you, okay, we have seen that. This means that even if there are 2 million Samsung S21 produced, you are one of them. Your IMEI is everything that is divinely configured to your life specifically and to your purpose. Anyone with access to your IMEI can track you from anywhere in the universe, like the wise men tracked Jesus across nations. Anyone who has access to your star can reprogram your life. That's why it is very powerful to be spiritual, because when people are jealous of you, when the witches and wizards, when the family, when the village people, when an occulted man, when just a friend is jealous of you and they go to the opposite side of power, they go to a native doctor, they go to an occultic society, they go anywhere that is opposite of good, they're only going to attack that your stardom, right? And if you don't protect your IMER, if you don't protect that your identification that is unique only to you and your purpose when God created you, anybody can have access to it and tamper it. And the protection is as simple. You have to be under, like I was giving examples. Some of you must have experienced that. Our parents, like when we were young, I remember our parents took us to a native doctor that they want to protect us. And the native doctor will cut us and put things in our body in terms of whatever and so on, right? That they want to protect us. So, and you must have heard that it's very popular across Africa, where parents take kids to native doctors and so on and so forth. Now, for parents who are in Christ, who are in Lord per se, what do? They take them for child dedication. I am dedicating this child to God for divine protection. Whether we like it or not, life is that spiritual first. Like I was listening to a message by one man of God, and he said, you know, when you send your kid to school, or even like we go to school, or we go to businesses, people leave their houses and they have gone to different altars. People go to different altars in the morning, in the night, before coming out in the morning. When someone living there, you don't know where they're coming from. That's a fact. You don't know what they did at night, right? That's a fact. There are people that are being controlled spiritually even around you. Even some of you may not know who is controlling you spiritually. And the only best way to beat them at their game is to be more spiritual, right? Good. Look at this. The physical cannot compete with the powers that control stardom at the top. The physical cannot compete with the powers that control stardom at the top. That is why spirituality is the first most important arrow that makes a star. Stardom is determined from all stars, from altars. Stardom is determined from altars and operated or controlled from the spirit realm. Stardom, success, whatever, is determined from altars and operated or controlled from the spirit realm. Let me tell you this categorically. There is no successful person that is not backed by an altar. None. From business to career to entertainment to football, there is none. There is no one. There is no business. The person who is succeeding so big in business, that business or that personality is not backed by altars. You think that those things that they try to display in Nigerian films and so it's not just movies. No, many of those are stories, real life stories that directors have heard, story writers have heard, people sharing them, and they convert it to movies. For you to stand at the top, something must back you up. An altar must back you star. And there are some of these things that when I say like this, some people say, you may not understand because, let me tell you something. When you're still at a lower level, when you're still not significant, nobody fights you. Just start rising a bit. Just start rising a bit. I can say it because I have seen it. In just my little success, I have seen some things that I've been waiting. You have to choose one. You have to be part of something. You have to be part of an altar. Right? You have to dedicate yourself to an altar. Sometimes when you're just a student, when you're just at the bottom and all of that, you start to feel like, oh, all these things they are just saying. Wait, start rising. When you will start rising, you start understanding certain things. There are some people that when they start a business, as they start rising a bit like that, the business crumbles in a very funny way. Maybe somebody may just go somewhere and just stamp on your star just a little bit. Just touch it only small, and it shakes you a bit. And if you don't come back to your senses and begin to be conscious, to have an altar that backs you, you're going to struggle. And of course, we know the best altar that just need your commitment, dedication, and allegiance to it. Be spiritually backed up in Christ in the right way. Okay, let's continue. Everything that appears to the natural eyes is a projection from a spiritual interaction and transaction. Everything that appears to the natural eyes is a projection from a spiritual interaction and transaction. If your spiritual life is not intact, every other effort to rise is a waste of time. Reverend Steve is saying that if your spiritual life is not intact, every other effort to rise is a waste of time. That's why you see somebody has put all the effort, hard work they have, character they have, attitude they have, a clear vision they have everything that a successful person should have, but they are nowhere to be found. They are mediocres. They have nothing to show for. They have no significant, tangible success. Every other thing becomes like a waste of effort. You see, have you not seen people that finish advanced level with 5 A's, 4 A's, and 1 B? They go to the university, they have almost 5 on 5 GPA, but just to get a job is a problem. Just to be recruited is a problem. It's as if everything that pertains to career success has been deleted from their life. You think that's normal? Why should somebody be that intelligent and not worthy of a basic job of 50,000 francs? You think that's just normal? But you see somebody who is just barely making it is well celebrated and known and having opportunities. There's something beyond just natural effort that they're bringing to the table. And that's a fact of our life. As this morning, right, this 4:30, by 6 a.m., 7 a.m., people going on the street to go and hustle. Many people are bringing to the table beyond just their physical effort. They're bringing in the spiritual powers. They're bringing in altars to accompany them in their fight for success, in their fight for dominance. If you must command authority this year, your spiritual ability must include identifying people who have stars that complement yours. This is very important. You must have the ability to identify people who have stars that complement yours so that you don't waste time in fruitless relationships and ignore your catalyst. That's why we have a community like Peak Performance Academy, because we are all people that we seek success. We're looking for stardom. We're looking to create significant impact in our lifetime. So one way to also catalyze your stardom is for you to create relationships with people that have the right stars that can complement your own star. When you look at when there are stars in the sky in the evening, when there are many stars, it shines as if it shines brighter. When it's just one star, it doesn't have a lot of significance in shining that much. Don't waste your time in fruitless relationships, including who you're dating, for example. Don't ignore your catalyst. The kind of friends you have, the kind of relationship you have can be a catalyst to your manifestations, can be a catalyst to endorsing you to succeed, can be a catalyst to recommending you to succeed, can be a catalyst to opening a door for you, can be a catalyst to giving you financial support, can be a catalyst to pointing you to a direction that will change the rest of your life, can be just a knowledge catalyst. The friends you have around you, look at their stars. Are they people that are going somewhere relevant? Are they catalysts or are they mediocres? Are they catalysts or are they vampires? Dominion is team effort. Your team must be built with spiritual insight of stars that surround yours. Dominion is team effort, and your team must be built with spiritual insight of stars that surround you. So we have seen the star and your spirituality. And my advice to you here is make sure you invest spiritually to work on your success. Okay. And I will advise you, be committed in church, be committed with the things of God, be committed in your prayer life, be committed in spiritual activities, be committed in it could just be as basic as being active in church, serving God. It could just be as basic as paying tithes. If you understand the revelation of the tithe, it could just be as basic as paying your first fruits. If you understand the revelation of the first fruits, it could just be as basic as fasting and having a time within the month where you just fast and pray for your career. Have you ever done that? Anybody have created time to fast and pray for their careers? Let me tell you something I used to do, which is one of the biggest investments in my life. In 2012, 13, 14, and 15, if I can remember correctly, and these are something that you can do before you get very busy. Especially that you're going to get very busy as some things you can no longer do it. In the early days of my career, let me tell you what I used to do. I used to fast every 3 days of the month. Every 3 days of the month, fast and pray every 3 days of the month, just for my career. Like for 4, 5, 3, 4 years. Then every Tuesday, I will go to church. I'll go to our church. That I was in Kumwe. I'll go to church in our church in Kumwe, and I'll pray from. I'll pray just in my career and what I was building. I'll pray from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. every Tuesday. I'll pray just in my career. Pray for the future that I'm seeing. Pray for the vision and all of that. And then I go for all night. Like our churches do monthly all night. Every night we pray. We go to church and you can pray for anything, all of that. So we go to church and we pray from evening to the next morning to 5 a.m. and all of that, right? There are a couple of things that I do strategically, which are spiritual actions. Like I always say something very funny. I pay tithe for my career. And as I use the word revelation, don't just pay tithe because you hear somebody teaching about tithe or your pastor is forcing you to pay tithe. It's not going to be very significantly powerful. I pay tithes for my business. I pay tithes for me. So a tithe talks about paying a 10%, giving it back to God. Take a 10%. The first thing I remove from my money is my tithe. And the Bible says very clearly, when you pay 10%, God secures the 9%, the 90%. Right? Those are spiritual actions. I also said, if you know spiritual revelations of first fruits, at the beginning of the year, I pay first fruits. I take an amount of money and I go dedicate to God. Okay, this is my first fruit, acknowledging you for the strength to make wealth, acknowledging you for protection, acknowledging you for your goodness. You know, God just, it doesn't like God needs your money. No, but God just needs you. You don't worship God just with your mouth. You don't just worship God by singing slow motion songs. Worship is in different dimensions. Taking your first fruit, the first amount of the year, you take it. It could, the Holy Spirit can direct you. It could be 100,000 francs, it could be 50,000 francs. I used to pay, I remember to pay first, I think my first that I ever paid 2012, 13 or so was, I think that amount was 25,000 or so. But God will lay it in your heart, depending on what God have done for you or how you look at the year. You look at your year, or that's how you also prepare for the year. I would take my first fruit, it could be 100,000, 200, 500,000 francs, 1 million. I have someday I can't wait to pay a first fruit of 10 million francs to God, just acknowledging it. And have I been broke in a year because I paid first fruits? No, I've only been blessed tremendously. I have only been protected tremendously. I have only been saved from accidents tremendously. I've only, until you commit God, God cannot commit to you. That's a fact about life. There's a general grace for salvation, yes, but there are some specific grace that is released to you based on some certain spiritual acts that you do, right? God loves everybody the same, but God does not treat everybody the same. Either you accept it or not, that's a point. Even like kids, do you treat, even like families, there are children that you treat differently because of how hard they work, how obedient they are. There's one you say, this one, stubborn picking. But you love them generally as their kids. But there are some you always prefer because of how they behave and how they act towards you. I want to challenge you. See what you can do. Have a personal revelation. Have a personal decision to make. There are some things you don't understand. You can go back to your pastor and ask. I used to do that. Go to my pastor, ask questions about certain things, so I understand the spiritual implications of these things. And let me tell you again, also, I've had the privilege to coach very successful people, to consult. Many of those guys are not empty. They are not empty. They are not. They have altars, both the godly altars and evil altars. They do them. They have them. And in this society that we are in, as I said, as you go out, people are coming from different places. Some people do not sleep in the night. Like I always say, some of you are trying to compete with guys that did not sleep. They spend the whole night doing incantations, and you're trying to compete with them. You're trying to compete with people that have gone to one altar and they sacrificed 10 cows so that they can succeed better than you. But you're just there like that, just living life as if, oh, this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad. No, that's good. But what are you rejoicing over? What is backing you that rejoicement, that rejoicing? Rejoicing is not English now, right? So I want to challenge us. I just felt that I should teach this. These are some things that nobody will teach publicly, but they work. They are there, right? They are there. And be careful about social media. There are a lot of people that speak about certain things on social media. Those are some people that are orchestrated by other altars, right? Because the devil also does evangelism. Yes, evangelizing people from the things of God to join his own things, right? So you need to go deeper than that. You need to go way deeper than that. Success is not just like that. Nobody just succeeds empty-handed. Or even if you rise by a natural talent, somebody will pluck you out of that position with evil plans. And when they're attacking you and there's nothing shielding you, you would die like a chicken, as some person would say. That's a fact. Right? Good. Let's look at your star and your vision, and then we can end for today. Your star and your vision. Star and your vision. You can go to Habakkuk chapter 1, verse 3. Your star and your vision. That's the second. We're looking at the second arrow now. We have seen spirituality. We're looking at the second arrow now, which is your vision. So your star and the vision. Vision is the second lighted arrow of your star. It is the place of purpose fulfillment in which you are bound to shine in the grand plan of God. You may not have light of your own to shine as a star, but positioning yourself in the place of your assignment will make you a distributor of light. This is very important. You may not have light of your own to shine as a star, but positioning yourself in the place of your assignment will make you a distributor of light. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1 to 3. Right now, so let me explain this. Not everybody has a vision. There are some people that are vision enablers. That's what is happening here. What Reverend Steve is saying here. You may not have the light of your own to shine as a star. Yeah. But there are some people that when you connect to, right, you can become a distributor of light. Okay. So again, that's why not everybody is the same. There are some people that when God created them, he gave them more. He gave some things more than other people. Not everybody has a God-given vision. Some people have vision separately. Then I see some people that they work so hard to start their own business, start organization. It's only starting and falling. One thing is that they'll never discover, is it their purpose? Is it part of their vision to run a vision? Some people it's not. Your vision is to work for another vision. And that's where you find your own success. That's when you will shine in your own assignment. That's when your own vision is to connect to another existing star for your own star to light. That's a fact about life. Not everybody is called to be a visionary leader. There are just a few dedicated visionary leaders in the universe, and many people are called to serve. And when you serve, you also shine. You also become a star because you have plucked in their place of assignment. Like, for example, you're an employee in an organization. Like, let's say like in Constructive Group, my employees, for example, right? They may not, it may not be their calling to run their own businesses. But just the fact that they are part of Constructive Group, they start shining. I always tell them, many of them, they will start representing me in many places. So through that, they're going to stand on platforms that naturally on their own, they may not stand upon. They're going to represent me in meetings. On their own, they may not sit in places like that. That's the meaning of positioning yourself in the place of your assignment will make you a distributor of light. Okay? We see the moon shine so bright and beautiful, but it has no light of its own. For those who study geography, you know that the moon does not have a light of its own. It positions itself between the sun and the earth, and by default reflects the light of the sun to the earth. Yeah, the moon only borrows light from the sun. As created by God, the moon does not have light. It has to get light by positioning itself where it can collect light from the sun and redistribute it back to the earth. It's like for some of us human beings. If we don't connect ourselves, like some of you, like one of you wrote me that, you have had more opportunities connecting to the Peak Performance Academy than you have had in your last 3 years. That's true. Just because you have connected to PPA or you're part of PPA, you can start getting light from your end that you can redistribute it. Like I was telling somebody, there are some scholarships and some jobs that I only share in PPA first. And if I share some of you like, you can reshare in other groups. I only share there. I don't have time to share in other groups. But just because you are connected to PPA, you get to see those opportunities. Even like some knowledge, some insights about business and career, I only share them in PPA. I don't reshare in other groups. I don't even share them on Facebook. Just because you are connected to it, you get to reflect it. You get to reflect on you, and you can redistribute it across your network with your family members. There are some people that any information I share in PPA, they copy and they paste in their family WhatsApp groups. And sometimes they send screenshots of what their family members are saying, how they have been impacted or so on. You see, that's being a distributor of light because you have positioned yourself in another light. That's why you need to be careful where you walk, where you go and sit, who you relate with. That's why in getting a job, you get a job beyond just salary. Money is not everything. So sometimes you need to do, those are spiritual, when you get a job offer, they pray about it first to understand that place better. Okay? You must find your vision, your purpose in God's grand plan, and be available in that place to shine. You must find your vision, find your position in God's grand plan, and be available in that place to shine. Okay, let's conclude with your star and the vision. Apostle Tunde Steve is saying here that there are 5 signals of a successful vision. As I talk about these signals, begin to look at yourself. There are 5 signals of a successful vision. Number 1, a clear picture. The ability to see the vision. That's the first signal that you have a successful vision. You have what? A clear picture. You have a clear picture. The ability to see the vision. You see yourself 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. You see yourself in numbers. I would like to say a good vision should have numbers. Okay, in 2025, my company will have 1,000 staff. We'll be in 3 countries. We'll have 10 branches. We're making profit of 10 million, 50 million, whatever. That is a vision. That's a picture. You're painting it. You see yourself driving a service car. You see yourself flying in business class and going for business meetings in different countries. That is, you are seeing a picture, a very, very clear picture. If you don't sit like this and you picture your lifestyle, you picture your business, you picture maybe your office building, you picture whatever that your career, you picture your family, you picture you're driving your family to church, you picture you're driving your family for a hangout, you picture all of these things, then your vision is not yet right. Do you have a clear picture of your vision? Number 2, a committed people. Every vision requires a committed people. That commitment starts with you. Are you committed to your vision? Are you dedicated to your vision? What is the level of commitment you put to your vision? Some of you sleep more than how much you work. You sleep, some of you go to bed at 9 o'clock, wake up at 5, but, okay, before joining PPSF. You sleep 9 hours, you sleep 8 hours. In the day, you gossip for 4 hours. You WhatsApp for 3 hours. At the end, you only work hard, just like 2-3 hours in 24 hours or 4 hours in a day. The rest of the hours you have wasted in gossiping, WhatsApping, watching television, and sleeping off. And in your mind, you're committed to your vision. You are not. Commitment requires time. Commitment requires hard work. Commitment requires dedication. You think that these people that have are back their altars, there's a place for hard work. They don't sleep. Don't just look because I've been spiritually preserved, I don't need to work hard. God is not a witch doctor that will give you things that you don't work for. There's a place of hard work in the journey of success in God's kingdom. The people working for the vision, are they committed? Have you transmitted the vision to your team, to your volunteers, to your interns in a way that they believe in it and they're committed to it? Without the right people, the vision will perish. Without a committed people, without a committed staff, the beautiful vision that you have will perish. Number 3, the third signal or the third vital sign of a successful vision is a consistent prayer. That is the ability to intercede for the vision. I was asking you earlier, how many of you have created time just to fast and pray for your career? How many of you have created time just to fast and pray for your business, for your startup? How many of you have created time just to fast and pray for what you're doing with your hands? You're not asking for open doors. You're just praying for that this vision will go places. You're just praying for it. For those of you who have an office, when have you ever left the house early just to go and sit in that office, in that building, in that restaurant, in that shop, wherever you are, and just pray? You're not waiting for customers. You close the door. You're just praying for that place. You're just praying for the vision of that business that you have. Do you intercede for the vision? That's one vital signal that many of us young people don't have. And prayers never go. There are many prayers I made for my vision in 2012 and that I even forgot. Sometimes when I see that, I remember, oh, do you know you prayed for this thing? You know you prayed for these things 5 years ago. You prayed for these things 6 years ago. Guys, intercede for your vision. There are sort of some things I always say that anybody who tries to fight my career, you die before your time. You don't know the things I've done behind the scenes several years ago. These things are happening like this. Don't just wake up and they're happening. One thing that I'm blessed with, one biggest gift that my mom gave me was that making sure I grew in the church, making sure I grew in the things of God. One of the biggest gifts. I don't remember a day that I've never been around the church. When we were growing up, the church used to be in our house. When Baptist church came to that village, it used to be in our house for several years. So I've always, one of those families whereby you have to go to church to please your mom now. Yes. But did I like church? I hated church so much. I'm one of those guys that used to go to church late so that I would go and put offerings and pastor and put offerings. So mom would say that I went to church. That's the biggest significance that she really. Anytime the offerings time that she's tracking everybody. No pastor will give offerings, no, you are not in church. You meet her at home. That way you understand that you wear one trouser. In our parents, when their parents say today we'll wear one trouser, you understand what that means now. Yes. So, and that used to be very, very powerful. Now I'm seeing the benefits of all those things. He made sure I grew around a spiritual altar. And as again, I was saying, the biggest thing happened to me that I realized this place of spirituality in the journey of success at just at the beginning of my career. Just at the beginning of my career. That's one thing I realized, a place of spirituality. Let me show you a short list. When I started doing the training center, one man was fighting me. And he went and reported me to the SDO and to some top people in Kumbwe that I'm running a training center that is not registered. So he was running another training institute. So he was feeling challenged. So I didn't know what to do. I prayed about it. Then I don't know what just directed me. I put a seed. I put the money in an envelope. I took it to the pastor. I said, okay, I'm sowing this seed. This seed like that. It's a sacrifice. Somebody is fighting my dream. And that man of God was even surprised. Because 2012, right? Some of these spiritual things are not very open like that. And I'm like, I've never seen a young man like you. What? After he prayed, I said, what directed you to do this? That was, and he, truth be told, when that action was done, that thing just died down. I was never called to the SDO's office again. I was never questioned about a training center again. Nothing. It just died down. And I had all the support I need. That's the same training center you guys know. Like when I started, there was serious fighting. There was serious commotion because somebody felt threatened that I was coming to compete with his own training institute. Started reporting me to the state council, to the SDO and all of that. And luckily it was somebody who is, it was a wife, and that was when I connected to the wife of the court president at the time of the court in Congo, because she was one who sitting down and had something. Did I know anything? I did not know. Then she was somebody who saw me and liked the work I was doing. She said, oh, I love what I do in the community with young people and all of that. She was just like, come, she called me to the house. I went to the house and said, do you know that this is what somebody is doing against you? I did not know me anything. I was just, and that's what I was living life aimlessly. We have nothing. You don't know what people are doing behind the scenes fighting you. Sometimes you don't need to know. You just need to do your work, do your own plans, and fight them the way you can fight them. Okay? Intercede for your vision. Create time. And that's one of the things I've planned for this year. We're going to, for those who believe in prayers and all of that, we're going to have some sessions just to pray for our visions. Okay? I was thinking of doing that just with my mentees. And for mentees, you get to understand why I challenge you guys before on your birthdays or before your birthday, we have a session, a short session, we talk, and I just pray for you, right? That's a lot of power, because there's also the place of having leadership. There are some things that, you know, every Elisha needs an Elijah. There's a place of spiritual authority. Every Lot needs an Abraham. Even Jesus Christ needed John the Baptist, right? There's a place for higher leadership. There are some things that, you know, until a higher authority that you recognize, declare them or endorse them in the spirit realm, they may never happen in your life. Like, you know, it seems like in the physical, if the governor gives an announcement, the SDO cannot contest it. If the president gives an announcement, the governor cannot contest. It's the same that in the spiritual realm. In the spiritual realms, there are some voices that the devil can. There are some things that we are praying about day and night. It's not working. If you give me, I said, this is my prayer point, join with me and pray. Just me one declaration that I will give about that thing goes and happens. Yeah, but I've been waiting. What's the difference? Trust me, there are voices in the spiritual realms are different. There are some things that I don't pray about. I just decide I know this one. You need your pastor to pray about it. And I call him or I go meet him and say, this is what I need, this is what I want to happen, and I need you to pray about it. You get a point? So you need to also recognize what is your spiritual strength. As you are interceding for your vision, understand there are some things about your vision that you cannot pray for it. You know, no matter you pray day in and day out, and there's nobody, God is not hearing. No. It's not that because you have not grown spiritually to handle a battle like that. The same like if you know, study the Bible very well, there was a place of guys went and they were trying to deliver a demon. And the demon said, Peter, I know, Paul, I know, Jesus, I know, who are you? Voices are different in the spirit. That's why there are some people that those are very spiritual. When they're going like a job interview, they go meet their pastor and they pray for favor, they pray for wisdom, they pray for some things. Right? So there are some things about your vision also that on your own, you cannot do that. You need to go to your pastor. You need to ask for somebody you respect, and you can, and this way you need to learn how to respect people and honor people. As I was telling my mentor, if you don't respect and honor me as a mentor, there are some things that I would do, it would never see the significance. Right? That's why I would advise, be careful when people are speaking against men of God. Never open their mouth. Even like you don't know what that person doing with his God after. You don't know the relationship between God is like a man and a woman. You never know when they will settle it and you'll be at the center of the laughing, they'll start laughing at you. So look at this one, you are trying to show that you are what? Right? So be careful about some of these things. There are some things that you will never see me comment about. You never see me comment about speak against, the man of God. You will never hear my mouth. I will just pass the speech and I'll say, some friends will come and they try to lead discussion. I will just sit there quiet. I'll say, really? That's all. I will not comment the good or the bad. Leave it. It's their problem. And you cannot be under somebody and you don't honor that person, you don't respect that person. Or like some people, you can go, you're speaking behind the scenes. Like let's say you're in PPA right now, and you go and you're speaking behind the scenes against me, or you're speaking behind, you're gossiping against me, or you're saying something, you don't respect me, you're just dead, you're just camouflaging. That is your problem. There are some things that, there are some virtues that can never leave me to you. That's a fact about life. You cannot condemn something and expect that thing to bless you. And we need to be, it's even like our parents. You cannot disrespect your parent and expect their parental blessings. It's not going to work. You need to be very conscious about some of these things. They are more spiritual than you think. Okay, so intercede for your vision. If some of you that are still beginning, create a day in a month just to pray for the vision, intercede for it, empower the vision with prayers. I gave you something I used to do a lot, many times. Now I do it differently, right? Now I do it differently. Like when I said in the early days, every Tuesday I will go to church and just pray for it. Every first 3 days of the month, I will just pray for I'll fast and I pray for the vision and pray for the future I was looking at. And some things you pray about now that, oh, you pray for these things. Do you guys know that there was a prayer point I made that I want to be so busy that on my birthday I am flying between 2 continents? Funny, look at the funny things you pray about. I specifically pray that. I pray and ask in the prayer point that, God, I want to be so blessed that I'll be so busy that on my own birthday, I want to be flying between 2 continents. And that happened in 2018. I left the US on the 1st of September, my birthday 2nd September. And I landed in France in the night or so. Then after I left, I did not have time to celebrate the birthday. So I only had time there from the 3rd when I landed in Cameroon. So some things that you say in a place of prayer, you're joking. When your heart is open and you're convicted and you're genuine in the prayers and you are dedicated to the things of God, trust me, God is going to answer them. It's in the bank of prayers. And it's going to answer them when you're ready. God's time is the best. It's never late, it's never early. It's always on time. So some things you have prayed for, and when you pray for things, don't do your part. Don't try to time God. I always try to time God. There are some things you want to happen now. Meanwhile, God has scheduled them to happen 2 years. And that's why you need somebody who can understand you better and advise you certain things for you to see. So that you don't feel depressed and under pressure unnecessarily for things that are not ready to happen right now. And it takes somebody with a higher spiritual understanding to advise you, oh, see, focus on these things now, relax, chill right now. Right? Good. I've done like that with some mentees that they're frustrated about some things. And when I pray with them, I get, oh, sometimes I just laugh at them. Like some of them, when they say something, I just say, relax. Sometimes I don't have to be explaining to you, oh, this is what it should be happening. So I just say, relax, calm down. Mentees, can you confirm that? Now you come and report, oh, this is happening, I just say, relax, it's okay. But like when I say it's okay, it's well, and it's beyond it's okay. It's beyond it's well. And for the mentees that you are so connected to me that when you start saying certain things, I already sense, okay, this way this thing is going to. I already get the direction about this way it's going to. And sometimes they say it's okay, it's all right, don't bother, it'll be fine. Just give it a few weeks, just give it a few months. So we already designed something beyond the timeline, beyond the spiritual timeline that have been released onto you. Okay? Intercession vision. Next, constructive passion. Yes. The 4th vital sign of a successful vision is constructive passion. That is the ability to work towards the vision. That means you are so passionate. You are so passionate about that vision. You are so dedicated to that vision. The level of hard work, the level of passion you put into it is so amazing. It's so amazing. You are so dedicated. You are so excited about the vision. Your passion toward the vision is so, like somebody they see the passion. They see how much you love to do that thing. How much is your passion regarding that vision? The last sign is a calm perspective. The ability to patiently wait for the vision. A calm perspective. Don't be so eager. Like I was telling you guys, there are many things that I pray for in 2012 that in my mind, in my normal human mind, normal young person mind, I wanted them to happen 2012, 2018. But look at when they're happening. 2022, 2021. 9 years after, 8 years after. Respect the place of patience in the journey of vision. Don't stop being depressed over things that will see happen 2 years from now, 3 years from now. And it takes discernment to know, or it takes somebody around you who can discern your career and tell you, oh, calm down, oh, relax. Somebody like who, somebody that I've recently been talking about, and he's getting on track is George. George is not here. George is a mint. Is George here? George is a mentee. Okay, and who is that? McKinley, and many of you who are here, right? Sometimes some things they say, oh, relax, so calm down, chill, right? Because sometimes, trust me, I will not tell you the wisdom. Some things will come with wisdom. Because if I tell you that, sorry, this thing you're praying for is going to take you 2 years, you still feeling discouraged, right? I will never tell you, oh, relax, no, this night, like it's going to take you 2 years. You're going to go through a season of some of these difficult moments, and these moments too are also a place of training. I understand people that have received blessings early and they messed up with it. Yeah, God is also training you. There are some things that God is going to pinpoint. Oh, look at this, and until you're in your discernment, you're highly discerning. You may missed out on what the Lord is trying to teach you in that particular period. There's some of you come and say, "Oh, I'm not getting the number of customers as I want," and all of that. I'll just say, "Okay, it's okay." No, they say sometimes I'm advising of you respect the place of spiritual law of business. I'm trying to tell you something directly. I'm trying to advise you, encourage you, point you to the right direction and to keep on going. The most important thing in the place of patience is to be sure that you are in the right path. And while you're patient, what are you doing while you're patient? Keep on taking the right activities while you're patient. Pray while you're patient. Work hard while you're patient. Study while you're patient. Improve on yourself while you're patient. Create strategies for your business while you're patient. Because when that season passes by, it's like an open door. It's like all the breakthrough and praying for just released upon your business and upon your career. Next, you must have a clear purpose for your life. You must understand what and why of your existence. Why were you born? Why are you here? This is what will make you your second arrow to shine. This is what will give you a spot at the places of decision and authority. So today, we've learned about the secret of the stars. We've learned about your star and the spirituality. We've learned about your star and your vision. Tomorrow, we're going to look at your star and diligence, star and sacrifice, and a couple of other interesting things. And I hope that this is going to elevate you, this is going to lift you, this is going to challenge you in your journey of success, your pursuit of dominance, your pursuit of being a significant person, that somebody lived on earth by the name of this and you created this kind of impact and you left a good legacy for your next generation. All right, again, this is devotional, the Ethiopians daily devotional called Dimensions, done by Reverend Olatunde Steve. If you get a copy, this devotional is so powerful. Actually, every month I buy all copies for my staff because I need them to grow and we study this. It's so powerful. If you need a copy, if you're in Douala, you're in Yaoundé, you can always get a copy if you need one. Very good book to go through, very intelligent insights in that particular book. All right, everybody. I hope it was worth it. It was impacting. I hope you were stretched again to another level. And I hope you got something new to add into your daily living pattern, because it is your daily living pattern that creates a different lifestyle, a different result in the future.